So here we are for a second My Team episode in 24 hours, and a special treat for you guys as it has been confirmed Portimao is arriving tomorrow. So you can imagine what's going to be on the agenda in 24 hours time. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, guys, go check it out, link up in the top right, and subscribe for that Portimao content dropping tomorrow. But yeah, we're back for another My Team video, and I'm very excited because this is Miami, and we was robbed of the opportunity of having a decent race here last season after getting taken out in the first lap and then having an engine failure on a recovery. So I am very, very excited about getting into this one. So we have rain forecast for the race. Also, we're not bottom, but Williams have brought upgrades, and you can see we're neck and neck. Overall, if you look at the gap from bottom to top, the field spread is closing up, which means you're going to get a lot more mixed up grids and unpredictability. So we're improving and we're getting closer, and the gap is reducing, and you can see here we have 4 upgrades on the way, and the performance ones are major, so those should take us above AlphaTauri and possibly even Aston Martin. So yeah, we took care of practice, everything went smooth, we got purple in every program, and after FP2 you can see that actually on 95% AI I was about 2/10 quicker than Teo Pourchaire, and I was deciding, what difficulty to run for qualifying, because 2/10 is pretty close. The AI usually ramp up their engines, for qualifying quite a bit. I'd say somewhere between 5/10 to 8/10, give or take. So in the end, I'm actually going to decide on going for 98. That's going to be the sweet spot, I think, for this qualifying session, and hopefully that turns out to be true. So then, this weekend we have a revised livery. I've managed to crack the code and get satin paint on the car, so the blue is actually satin, which is really, really awesome, and I absolutely love it. And the livery now is near enough pretty much complete, I'd say, in terms of the adjustments, and I'm a big fan. It's still not quite the satin that I had last season. It's not as shiny or reflective, but it's a form of satin and it's better than what we had before, rather than just running basic gloss blue paint. Nonetheless, in Q1 we were finishing our first timed lap, and we got stuck in a bit of traffic behind one of the Alfa Romeos, which in this case is Jack Aitken. Not really ideal, as we get a bit put off into the hairpin, and we're going to finish our first lap with a bit of an oversteer moment as we cross the line and set a 1:27.5. Not really happy with that, a little small shake of the head, and we're going to move on to our second run. Now, this was a bit better, not as much traffic, but not really ideal. I got a bit out of shape through the slow chicane, but we still managed to recover some time, and we actually go purple in sector 2. So the pace was there. Even in practice, it seemed like, at least to me, there was some sort of pace, and we're very strong in the second sector in the very low speed stuff where the mechanical grip is key. We absolutely nail the final hairpin, by the way, here, and we improve by nearly 3/10 and move up into P15. So we could be in contention for Q2 here for the first time legitimately, because even Teo Pourchaire is sitting in P16. You can see I actually own the fastest middle sector by quite some way. But this is a real turn of pace from us. The upgrades are working, and the car, even though it's second from bottom, for some reason it just seems to suit this track a bit more than others, because even Pourchaire's on the pace as well. So this is legit, and we're fighting for Q2. So my final attempt in Q1 as we open DRS, bring it down to turn 1, brake at the curb, take as wide of a line as possible, 4th gear, short shift to 5th, and be very patient on the throttle through 2 and 3. Now we open up the S section as we bring the car all the way over to the right, turn in, clip the curbs to rotate the car and get a bit of extra turning, and very important here to kind of straight line brake into this long left. We've run out of track limits, but don't get invalidated, so we're going to take it and run with it in our stride. Onto the back straight. The exit admittedly wasn't the best, but we're still a 10th up as we open DRS. I know there's a bit of time to find in the slow chicane as we make our way into this big brake zone here at the back end of the straight. Down to 4th gear. Had to turn in twice, a little bit too early on the first one. Now keeping it super tight through here as we now go underneath the sponsor board and now into this left-right chicane. Absolutely perfect, no oversteer at all. And we get a very clean exit onto the back straight as well. So you can see we're now 4/10 up, purple in sector 2, this could be it. This could be the lap. We're still P15 right now. We're going to be the first car to set a lap time on our final run, and then everybody else will be after us. Breaking at the 100 though, we just overcommit a little bit and run in a bit deep. We do get a good exit to recover some of that lost time, but we have dropped about a tenth as we open DRS across the line and set a 26.9. We shake our fist. Is it enough for Q2? The answer is no, it isn't. We just miss out. P17 for us here in Miami, but my God, what an improvement. And the first time this season, I'm genuinely happy that we found a bit of pace, because this was legit. The car working well, and we found something. I think the upgrades are starting to really take effect, and we're slowly getting there. I'm genuinely actually now really enjoying this crew mode, because it's taken us over a season, but we're now finding small bits of progress, and I will adjust the AI difficulty accordingly. So after 95 in practice and 98 in qualifying, we are going to go up to 100 in the race. I could go 102, but that was a very good lap in qualifying. Besides the final corner, it was pretty much perfect. So we're going to go for 100 in the race, maybe 102, but I'm going to play on the safer side and just make sure that the race is fun. I don't want to have to suffer like every single race we've done in this crew mode so far. So yeah, guys, qualifying done. Let's see if we can turn it into points. And of course, there's rain in the race.
Formula One has arrived in the Sunshine State for spectacular sunsets, gentle breezes, warm waters, and for what will be a fantastic race day here at the Miami International Autodrome. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Norris, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Zhou and Sergio Perez, Ocon, Albon, Jack Aitken and Tsunoda, Martinez, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Théo Pourchaire and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Here we are then for the race at Miami, and of course we have that rain that was forecast at the start of the episode. Leave a like if you're going to enjoy the race. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes on this one and show your support for the series if you're still enjoying it, as especially now we're getting close to points, and I think we're starting to make some progress, so our career mode can really start taking effect now. Either way, this race, P15 for us, is going to be our starting position, which is really good. That already gives us half a chance at points. The rain's going to help as well, making it a changeable conditions race. It looks like it's not going to be here for a long time. We could be on dries pretty soon. Fuel-wise, I'm going to go for 29 laps on the nose. Literally exact, because between an early stop onto dries and also driving in the wet conditions, that should save a bit of fuel anyway. And the last race, we was actually quite fuel efficient, so I don't think we'll have issues with fuel. Either way, strategy-wise, it's looking pretty straightforward. We're just going to carry that intermediate until it goes to dries. And then after that, we'll see if we can be a bit clever with the strategy. Maybe go for a set of hard tyres to the end. Who knows? Either way, I'm hoping for points this race. I really think we can achieve it. We got pretty close in Melbourne and also in Imola last race. I think third time's the charm. This could be our chance. So hopefully it goes well. I think we need to have decent pace in the wet, which is going to be the real big question mark for us this race. So let's get into it and let's hopefully have a decent race and not retire like last season. The track looks pretty damn dry, even through this section. So I don't think we're going to be on the inters very long. Now what we're going to do is quickly ask for a weather update.
Current forecast is 5 or 10 minutes more of rain before it starts to dry up. Okay, not sure whether dries or inters are faster, we're right on the crossover.
It's not going to be very long then. Dare I say, I'd probably think about gambling for dries and pitting right now if I could, but you can't pit on the formation lap. Right, now that aside, we know in this game that when it says DRS enabled, it doesn't actually mean it's ready for dries. We've been caught out by that in the past, but in this year's game, you can carry the Inters, and they are the better tyre still for a while longer, and you can actually use DRS while on the Inters. So we're just going to get a last bit of tyre temp as we get ready for the race start, and hopefully we can make it a decent one. Fingers crossed we don't get dive bombed into turn 1 like Lance Stroll last season. But let's get a last bit of rear tyre temp and get ready to send it. We're going to line her up pretty straightforwardly, no big risks, pretty safe. I think the outside line is going to be the way to go here, so let's see if I'm correct. Hopefully a decent race. Let's get into it. This won't take long to go dry though. Get the revs sorted out. Ooh, what a start. Lovely. No use for any battery at all. Just getting an excellent launch off the line. Straight into turn 1, up the inside. And trying to go for P11 here. Can we get it? Yes, we can. What a start that was. Just got so much traction off the line. Rear tyres were nicely up to temp. As we do cut off Ocon there at the last second. Bit aggressive from me, but I've learnt my lesson from this time last season. Getting the elbows out. 50 diff in the wet conditions helps so much in this game. Definitely a little tip for you guys if you're doing wet races. Drop the diff to 50 and you'll see a massive improvement. Anyway, that aside, I'm expecting to struggle a little bit in this initial phase because we're running very, very low wings, 17, 14, extremely low downforce, and I think in the rain that might actually hamper us quite a lot, but I think we'll have decent straight line speed throughout the entire race, and that could be good for us in terms of not getting overtaken, and also ERS recharge. The lower your wings, the more recharge you carry on the battery. So there are some positives, and we're already on the cusp of points, so if we can just stay here until the switch to dries, it might give us a chance, as a lot of the cars ahead are going to have to, of course, either double stack or split their pit stops over 2 laps, which might give us a chance. Here comes Ocon though. We're going to defend the inside and show him to the outside. But like I was saying, that double stop that these guys ahead of us are going to have to do, you know, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, that could move us into the points if we stick with them. So it's important that we try to stay here as long as possible, as Ocon is coming back for more here. We're going to send him to the outside into turn 1. He takes a very narrow line into turn 1, almost turning in on us there as we have some contact. Also Russell running wide in the Haas. Just got to try and survive this initial phase. Giving Ocon a taste of his own medicine from the Real Life Hungarian Grand Prix versus Fernando, his teammate. But for now we stay in front and hang on to P11. Things should hopefully improve on the next lap once the AI turn their engines down, as we run a bit wide. Again, that low downforce just, you know, making us struggle with understeer, as here comes Ocon again, coming back for more. Looks like he's got the legs, but now we're going to have the better line, the inside line. Ocon still using battery and committing to a move here. I'm going to try and hold the inside and defend. Normally I wouldn't battle too hard, but in these conditions and the circumstance of, you know, changing the dries, I want to try and hold on to as many positions as possible this race. We're pretty good through here. This is definitely our strongest part of the lap, this very, very slow mechanical grip section.
DRS is being enabled this lap. You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
And there we go. I was wondering, because the track does look dry, would we get DRS? And the answer is yes, we do. So important that we stay within a second of Checo, although it's not going to be easy, as we're pretty slow in the first sector due to the lack of just downforce all round. Then we're going to drop out of range here, which isn't ideal. But we should hopefully get some DRS on the back straight. For now, we're going to have to defend from Ocon and possibly Aitken as well. Here we go. Got a decent exit, decent gap. And it looks like Ocon isn't actually catching that much today. I definitely have turned their engines down now. So we've got decent straight line speed to compete this race.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Okay, here we go. This could be the change.
Got that confirmed.
It says next lap, not this lap. Let's see if anybody pits. We'll go for the medium though. Let's see. Let's see if anyone comes into the pit lane. Yes, they do. Everyone's pitting. So we're going to box. I've got first choice, first preference, so we're going to pit. Here we go.
Stopping this lap.
Don't speed. They've definitely repositioned the pit entry compared to what it used to be. Hopefully Paul Chair does still pit. We can double stack and probably get away with it. There we go.
Teo's coming in for his stop now.
We just need a smooth stop. Very important now we don't have a failure. Okay, there we go. Lovely. Paul Chair won't get held up too badly.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Oh god, there's no grip. This might be a sticky one. Perez is going to get by straight away here on that soft tyre. AI usually much stronger than me on cold tyres, so this won't last very long.
Okay, Teo's in the pits. Teo in the pits.
Yep, I'm aware. Looks like everyone pit, even some double stacks. Only a few cars, 3 cars stayed out. There goes Checo. You can see I'm struggling for grip massively. Let's see if I can stick with Perez here. Probably not, but we'll give it a shot. Like I said, our straight line speed is pretty good, so we might be able to pull it back on the straights a little bit. Let's just take it easy and not over push on these tyres, which aren't up to temperature yet. Luckily, this is our strongest part of the lap, so we've got decent pace through here. You see Perez struggling for grip. Kind of wish I'd stayed ahead, really, because I can pretty pull away through here. So much quicker in this middle sector. You can just see the difference in pace. I was fastest here in the dry all weekend, and it shows. And then I get absolutely dropped on traction. My god, I forgot to change the diff. That is the reason why. That's not going to help. So we've now gone to a drag race with Aitken. Whoa! Contact. Aitken outbrakes himself and runs into the side of us. I was able to get the traction though on exit and stay in front. That was not a great move. Ocon in the pits. Let's see where we are compared to him. He's going to be on cold tyres, but he's on softs, so he's going to have to grip, so he's going to stay in front, which isn't ideal, so Ocon gets the jump on us. First warning for track limits as we take a bit too much of a chunk out of that first part of the slow chicane. I'm so good through that slow section, we gain so much time. I've actually got myself back in DRS range, which is insane, and I've actually managed to drop Tsunoda, so that's going to be a massive advantage for us this race, as we've got Russell battling ahead, I think, with Hamilton. Or Zhou. No, it's Zhou Guan Yu. Ocon Perez joining the fight. So this is a scrap for points. So points just up the road here in this race. We're not out of it. Let's keep it going. And hopefully this medium tyre starts to work. Now we've got the diff back up to 55. That should help.
Caution, caution.
Yellow. Is that ahead? Yes, it is. And it's Sainz slowing down. Breakdown. We can't overtake Perez. Yellow flag.
Okay, clear.
The Sainz out the race. That moves us up into P11. And I'm going to consider that karma for Sainz taking us out in the sprint in the last race. Taking me and Paul Chair out of turn 1. We didn't see it link up in the top right. Will that trigger a safety car or a virtual safety car though? That's the question. Looks like it won't. Which I don't mind, to be fair, because we're in the battle for points. So it suits me that things don't really change. Oh, Russell runs it in a bit wide. That almost distracted me a bit there. I feel like I can actually make a move on some of these guys. Perez struggling to make progress on the soft tyre. I'm just so much quicker through here. I feel like I can really, spread my wings and try to push a bit. Ocon making good progress up in P7. It is important that we try to outscore Ocon and Russell, of course, in the Alpine and the Haas today. Tsunoda following, but not quite fast enough on the straight to make any progress. Magnussen behind him on the soft tyre. Let's see what happens. I think if there's any more battling, I might consider going for a move. I'm still trying to save fuel though at the minute. Now, while we are getting a helping hand from DRS, I do think I could go probably about 6-7 tenths a lap faster, so I do want to try and make a pass. I want to note as well that Ocon has passed Norris and moved up into P6. He's absolutely flying. At the moment, we're just lacking a bit too much pace in that first sector. I'm much quicker in the second.
They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
Okay, so Aitken with issues. Potentially looking at retirement. Just trying to see where I can maybe pass these guys. But yeah, it feels like maybe Norris has a car issue. Maybe possible damage. Who knows, but I'm so much quicker in this mechanical grip area of the lap. Perez is starting to struggle on that soft tyre now. Even I'm starting to just lose the rears a little bit, so I can imagine the softs must be starting to go off. I'm going to try and force my way through there. I was looking at the outside. Norris is struggling for pace, by the way. He's getting overtaken by everyone. I wonder if maybe he's got slight damage. I'm also expecting those on softs to maybe pit soon, because I don't think that tyre lasts very long. But I'm looking for a move on Checo here. Hopefully we can get one soon. And, oh, there we go. That's the opening. We'll take that. Lovely stuff. We go straight through. Checo will fight back. Important now that we push. Although I have dropped out the DRS range of Zhou, but we should be able to catch back up. Norris is on the hard tyre, so that explains his lack of pace. As Russell locks up, that's going to give us the invitation to close back up and get within DRS range. So we're definitely competing in this battle. I've just got to try and be smart as we move back into the points. Lando's struggling though massively on that hard tyre, which doesn't seem to be great, so we'll bear that in mind later on in the race. As we don't have to use two different compounds, so we could go for a medium again on our next stint. Ricciardo in the pits, Alonso in the pits. I think Checo, Perez was in as well, so that soft tyre doesn't last very long, to be honest. And we don't have another set of mediums, by the way. I've just checked on the tyres. We don't have any mediums left, so we'll see how the stint goes. Maybe it might be worth dragging these a bit later onto a set of fresh softs, which could, you know, be a key difference compared to the AI who might be on used softs. Either way, we'll see how the race progresses. For now, though, we're doing a good job of just keeping up with these guys. I lose about half a second in the first sector, but I make it all up in that middle one. So the setup is working well. The straight line speed is a massive, massive bonus, as I'm really just hard to overtake and I'm very competitive. So it's nice to not be down on straight line speed compared to the AI for a change. And to be fair, it's not the first time this season. We've had some decent straight line speed in Australia as well, and Jeddah. So we're holding up this season a lot better with some decent setups. Car improvements, of course, is also a massive, massive plus. But yeah, for now, I'm just kind of not really going for any moves and just being patient. I think being in this DRS train is a smarter option. We're also able to save some fuel. I'd like to save a bit of battery if I could as well. We should see more pit stops as well, by the way. I'm expecting Ocon in the pits. He's on the soft tyre. And as I say that, he pits along with Max Verstappen, I think. So we're going to gain a few more places. I'm interested to see what tyre they've gone for, because if they're going for mediums, they might have to stop again. We'll see. And if they go to the end of the medium, they're going to have an advantage over us on the hard tyre. These two are losing so much time now. They're very, very slow. I just wish I was a bit quicker in the first sector as well, just to make a difference. But Zhou going for it in the S section on Lando. I think Lando has damage. I don't think he's that slow. I think the hard tyre can't be that bad. It's like Hungary in real life this past weekend. I think he might have a front wing damage issue. Either way, we're getting close to the pit window as well. So an overcut or an undercut anytime soon would be a good option. I'm going to try and get Lando here. I feel like I've got the straight line speed and I've got the pace to justify it. Take it nice and easy up the inside. Make a nice slick move, and hopefully Zhou can stretch his legs a little bit now. He's in clean air. We'll see what kind of pace he has. We are racing him for position though. I do believe I can beat Zhou. He doesn't seem that quick. He's been struggling to cut through traffic. So let's run with it. This might give us a chance to drop Tsunoda as well. Here we go. I'm going to actually go for this move. I'm going to commit. Screw it. Let's go for it. Let's try and make an overtake. Closing in. Using up all the battery. Up the inside we go. Had to brake very early, so I had no idea what my reference was for braking, but we're through. Leclerc pits. We're going to pit. This is going to be our own lap.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
Hamilton, Leclerc, pit. Crucial lap of the race this. Got to try and nail it and squeeze everything out of the tyres on this lap. I think we've got the pace. I think Zhou may have damage as well. Track limit warning. Not ideal. Trying to see if I can nick some DRS off Hamilton here, which would be a massive bonus. Pushing really hard through there, trying to carry the speed. Bit scruffy in fairness, wasn't really what I hoped for. That's a delayed message as we set a purple sector 2. But we're going to be racing Zhou into the pit lane here, and then also on pit exit.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Worked way too early. I'm used to braking with DRS. Anyway, we've got ahead of Zhou. Critical. Now let's box for the hard tyre. I could go soft, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. Let's just play it safe. This is a good race for us though. We've got a good chance of points here today. I really do believe it. The AI have been pretty scrappy in wheel-to-wheel combat like Imola. Our pace is legit. The car feels great. Oh, damn it, I missed my pull away. Luckily, we've just about stayed ahead of Zhou, which is crucial.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Trying to burn up the rears. Whoa, no grip though. As we try to get some rear traction. Here comes Zhou. Going to defend the inside. It's not going to be easy though. The AI just have the ability to find grip from nowhere. Decided to not fight that too hard as I can stick with him with DRS, I think. And we've got Snowder behind, so I don't really want to battle too much. Snowder has already boxed, I believe, so he's on nice warm tyres. We're going to use our straight line speed though to try and stay ahead. Snowder looking for the move. We're going to tuck into the slipstream of Zhou. Take a nice early apex to avoid getting dive bombed, and that should keep us ahead. More cars yet to box, I believe, which should move us into the points. But let's now stick with Zhou here. He can drag us along and then we can try and pass him again, like in the last stint, if I have the confidence and the actual pace to do so. Magnussen in the pit lane. That moves us into P11. Personal best 20.89. That's only 4 tenths off. How fast is that, by the way? The grid is actually pretty close in terms of overall pace, you know, from top to bottom as well. But at the minute, we're doing a good job. We're sticking with Zhou. I think surely there's got to be more cars to pit. Either way, I think we've got some decent pace and we can make it work. I think we've definitely got a massive advantage when tyre wear kicks in. Zhou is nowhere near as fast as what he was on fresh tyres in the first sector. I'm able to keep up now using minimal ERS. I am trying to recharge and save fuel at the same time for a bit of a push in the last couple of laps, because I know that AI also going to push as well, so we need to respond with them. I can afford to lift and coast in certain areas because I know I'll make up the deficit, especially in this section here. That's kind of really the main reason why. So I'm trying to take advantage of my strengths to bolster up my weaknesses a little bit. But at the minute we're doing a good job. Sonoda's not a factor anymore. It's refreshing to have decent pace, to be fair, for a change. Let's see though. I'm confident. I think we'd even maybe catch Russell if we were a touch faster. And there is some battling up ahead for P8, so it's not over yet. For sure, there's definitely still more possibilities. Things could happen. We need to start thinking about making the move before the AI go to full power mode, which could be in the next lap or so. I think I am going to try and go for the move on Zhou here, rather than, you know, chance it on the last lap or something. That was nice through there. Very tidy. Got a decent amount of VRS to use. We're going to try and get on the inside again in case Zhou locks up. This is a safe bet. We're going to force him to the outside. If he forces us to the inside, I'm going to run in a bit deep. But we might get the drive off the corner as a consequence. Zhou is going to have DRS. We've got the shorter inside line. It's going to be a battle down to turn 1. Here we go. Inside line, which we'll take. But this is the first sector, which is my weakest one, so it's not going to be easy to stay ahead. And we might be vulnerable on the straight because I've got no battery left now. But we had to go for it. I can smell a point and I wanted to take the opportunity while I still had it. Let's try and get a good exit here if we can. Give ourselves half a chance. Okay, that's not bad. I am completely out of juice though, so this isn't going to last long. Zhou is already catching me here. Here we go. Our straight line speed's good. Look at this. Zhou has nothing to answer for. Lovely. Right, we can drop him through here. He might actually have a chance here. I'm going to defend the inside. Oh, I've broken myself massively. This isn't over yet. Zhou now is going to be in full power mode. Here he goes. We're going to force him the long way round. He's still there. Oh, that was close, but we're going to run out of bounds. Massively offline now through here. As we go to the backstretch, I'm going to try and give it everything. I'm going to sacrifice all of my exit to just drive off. Use up all the battery we have.
Less than 1 lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty.
Yep, I'm very close on fuel. Here comes Zhou to the outside. Got to take a lift just to get a bit of fuel back on. We'll coast it in through here, and we'll do a bit of a lift as well, just to get some fuel back on target. It's going to go right down to the wire. Big lift and coast through here, just to make sure we make it on the fuel. And now we're going to speed it up a little bit and open up the corner. Not the best exit, but we still managed to traction up pretty cleanly, even with that snap. Hamilton wins in Miami. And I think we are going to get challenged here by Zhou. I'm going to defend the inside. I'm not going to take any chances. Oh, we break ourselves. We lock up. Zhou goes through on the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. He hesitates under traction. We're just going to take it.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
They've done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
But they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners.
And there we go. Finally, we score points after, a great points finish in Jeddah. We had decent pace in Australia and also in the last race in Imola, but this time we get a point. Very happy. We're getting better. The car is improving. I can feel it getting better. The setups are getting better. In hindsight, I could have maybe gone on 102 AR difficulty maybe, but even then, 100 is kind of like the baseline we're running at this season. If you look at Bahrain and then Jeddah, then we weren't able to run not even 100, I don't think, in Australia. So, we're kind of trying to still find that sweet spot. But overall, the car is working well, and I'm getting more confident now with it. Hamilton wins, Leclerc second with a fastest lap. Alonso racks up another podium, and Verstappen P4. So Verstappen not quite doing the performance you want from Red Bull. Lando P5 ahead of Ocon, Ricardo, Perez. Russell scores points for Haas again, and then we finish in P10. Now, worth noting, actually, I said at the start of the episode how the field spread is really starting to close up a lot. And even if, we're bottom right now, we're actually still closing in on the top teams, and the entire field from top to bottom is just getting a lot closer. And you can see that in the top 10. I mean, we've got a Mercedes, then a Ferrari, then an Alpine, then a Red Bull, and then a McLaren. 5 different constructors in the top 5. We've got Haas and also us breaking into the points as well. So 7 different teams in the top 10. That speaks volumes, and that's what you want to see. Tsunoda misses out on the points ahead of Albon, Schumacher, Vettel, Magnussen, Gasly, Pourchaire, Aitken, Latifi, Stroll, and then Zhou DNF'd, which I don't understand. I could have sworn he raced me to the line, and then Sainz DNF'd as well. So something happened there with Zhou, maybe some kind of glitch. In the standings though, with that point, we move up to 12th. I believe we get ahead of Sainz, and also we overtake Gasly, so we stay in that top 12 position. Leclerc still leads 4 points ahead of Hamilton, Verstappen third ahead of Ricardo. In the constructors, Mercedes take the lead ahead of Ferrari, so that's going to be a spicy battle. We, with that point, overtake AlphaTauri and move into P7. So I think this is what we're aiming for this season. I think P7 is going to be realistically achievable. possibly P6. Haas weren't a million miles away today. I was catching Russell at the end. Maybe with some upgrades we could turn it around, and you know, we have been seeing change of fortune with the upgrades lately. You know, they've been arriving, they're not failing, we're developing faster, and we're closing the gap. So let's get back to it and let's do more upgrades in the main menu. Now this break between this race and the next one is massive, because as you can see, we have 4 upgrades arriving. All of our upgrades that are in the works right now could potentially be on the car for the next race in Spain, which would make a massive difference. Now then, let's go ahead and add some more to that. As you can see, we've got an aero and a chassis upgrade on the way, and 2 on the durability. Do we have any other options available besides those? I mean, we could potentially have a failure, which is not ideal, but I still want to keep pushing and ideally waste no time with upgrades. Now, we're going to go for the rear wing main plane. It's the cheapest one we have. It is a major one, so we'll go ahead and get that on. You can see with these upgrades, if they all arrive, it could take us as high as Alfa Romeo, just behind Red Bull, so that would be massive for us. We're going to save up the rest of the points that we have, and we'll get a few more points on the 16th if we have any potential failures. Before that though, let's go to activities and stack these up before the next event. So we're going to go for things again that don't affect morale, so we don't have any failures on, you know, upgrades. So we'll go for durability team building, we'll also go for power equipment upgrade, and then to add to that, we'll go for G-Force training. Now though, let's skip ahead, and fingers crossed, all of these upgrades arrive. I love it. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that on the right. We've overtaken AlphaTauri, and the reason being is because we've had no failures. The front wing end plates have arrived, unlocking more upgrades, which is really exciting. We can also have the rear wing main plane in 14 days. The lightweight wheel rims have arrived for weight reduction, which is great. So again, we've unlocked further upgrades moving forward. And then of course we've had the durability upgrades on the car as well for the control electronics and the energy store. So we're cooking now, big time. We're really starting to get some momentum, and you know, we're coming fast. We're in the rearview mirror of a lot of teams right now. Things are looking good. You can see we have that major upgrade on the way, which should take us above Aston Martin. I should be able to afford another one at the end of the next episode, just about. But we're looking really good. The cash flow as well, by the way, is flying. 4.3 mil. We're really stacking up cash now. That extra third sponsor is making a massive difference. We're hitting our sponsor target every single race with no failures, and we're really building that cash flow. And actually, I think I am going to go ahead and improve the powertrain. We're going to get build time. Actually, no, we know what? I'll save up for fabrication level 2. I'd rather get that if I can. So we're going to save up for that, and we should be able to get that in the next episode. But we're really cooking right now. Another option is personnel. This has been patched now, so these things will actually work. Do I fancy this? I think I might in the future, to be fair, in the near future. I think what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade the powertrain to fabrication 2, and then once that's done, we'll go for personnel work. So, guys, a great episode. I can feel it. Things are on the turn, and we're going to boost the AR difficulty a little bit, I think, just to make sure we don't push ahead too fast. But leave a like if you're really excited for the future, guys. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more. As always, a shout out to the members for supporting the content. And finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. But yeah, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me.